What's going on, YouTube Gardening? It's your boy Sydney and
Tori
from the Naked Gardening channel. And this video we're going to be showing you how we're preparing for our fall garden. And we're going to start right now. So a few videos back we did a video on showing how we sterilize the seedling trays and our pots. How it's very important that we did that, so that way not only will it increase our rate of germination, but also if there's any disease or fungus that was left over in these trays and we wasn't able to clear it out, that would definitely sterilize and sanitize that. And then we did a sanitizing of our seed starting mix, where we got some boiling water and then we dumped the boiling water into the seed starting mix, let that sit in there. The reason for that is not only sterilize the starting mix, but it also kills any disease or fungus, gnats, eggs that happen to be waiting inside it ready to hatch and just cause ruckus in our house with all these little bugs and stuff like that.
They've also killed off some of our starts in the past.
So it will help definitely increase your germination rate.
We'd like to know what your methods of preparing for your fall garden is.
Alright, so what's left for us to do is we're going to take this seed starting mix that's been sterilized. We're going to show you how we're going to pack these trays and pots. And then after that, we're going to show you what we're going to be growing for this fall season. And then we're going to be putting them in our grow rack. Now, since these are fall crops, we won't need the heating mat because most of the cold fall weather plants, they're not going to need a extreme amount of heat to germinate. As long as we keep the house around 70 to 75 degrees, they'll be able to germinate from there.
And those racks are in our atrium, which is the warmest room in the house.
Yeah.
So they'll be good.
They'll be good. Alright, so we got the seed starting mix is nice and moist. That's how you want your seed starting mix. You don't want it dry, so that way it's able to compact and get rid of all the air molecules. So we'll just put the soil in there like that, this potting mix like that. We're going to pack it down slightly to give the seeds a nice foundation, and then we'll just lightly go over again, and that's all you need to do. Alright, so now we're going to talk about what we're going to be growing for our fall garden and which one is going to be our favorite ones. The first one we're going to talk about is the Brassicas. With the Brassicas, you got your...
We call those cold crops
Or
too.
cold crops.
Yeah.
You got your broccoli, your cauliflower, your kale, your cabbage, your kohlrabi, your Brussels sprouts, and your mustard greens. What is your favorite out of all of these?
I think I've talked about this a lot, but I love the giant red mustard. It is my most favorite. It has a really nice peppery taste to it, and I like to put it on sandwiches. I like to treat it like collard greens too. Like I've cooked it with some smoked pork. And right now, I mean, this is so prolific and sturdy. There's one that is a volunteer that's in with my sunflower right now. It's a really, really tasty one if you haven't had that.
For me, one of the staples in growing up was always greens, like collard greens. Sometimes Ma Dukes will mix them with turnip greens or mustard greens, and it's just something that we normally have during the fall, especially around Thanksgiving or Christmas, when a group of family members just get together. Sometimes we even do it on Sunday dinner. So that is one of the things that's really staple that I'll make sure that we always grow in the fall season.
And I was really sad last season because we had so many of these that were beautiful, and then a bunch of rats ate all of our brassicas.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
We're ready. I'm gonna fight some rats. Like, they're gonna die this year.
All right, so the next one we're going to go into is our root crops. For the root crops, we have carrots, garlic, onions, beets, basically turnips, everything that grows on the ground. But for us, your favorite is going to be...
the carrot, cosmic purple. This is delicious. It's beautiful, and then it has a sweeter taste.
Yeah, it's one of the sweeter tasting carrots that we tried when our second or third year gardening, and we had it in our beds. It was a loose soil, and it was like a mixture, a rainbow mixture one. And when we pulled up that one, it was like so sweet. It was almost like candy. So I think that's beside, and along with that being purple is another reason why we like to
That's
use
one of
that.
our brand colors. We love purple.
Yeah. One thing I'm interested in growing this fall is the golden beets. Mrs. Naked Gardener doesn't like the beets. She thinks it's just too earthy. For me, I could mind it. When we used to try the whole juicing thing, it didn't turn out too well. We had to the pulp out of it. We had to just to make it sweet. But the beets is actually kind of sweet, especially the red beets. So if you know of any recipe that I can introduce to Mrs. Naked Gardener for her to like beets, please comment down below.
And also, if you do comment down below, we will try it and do it on our Instagram story for our beet challenge. And mind you, I am not a picky eater. Like, I will eat everything, but beets taste like dirt. Like, to me, every time I've tried them. But I'm willing, like, prove me wrong, like, give me a way that I'll like it.
So y'all hear that first. All right, now we're going to go on to the greens. For me, we try to do different types of lettuce. When I was in Georgia, in containers, we had different types of romaine lettuce, from green to red, and just regular lettuces as well. But one of the staple ones that I like to grow is this black-seeded Simpson. And it's just a real hardy oak leaf one that's able to hold its structure of its leaf once you pluck it or harvest it and put it in the refrigerator. So that's one of the things I like next to Roman lettuce. What's your favorite green?
For me, it's one of your least favorite. It's the arugula. I just have a real palate for peppery things, and I really love arugula. It just adds a nice little zest to salads, so that's my thing.
Yeah, she's more of the I mean, I like spicy stuff, but for the like greens, I'm not too fond of peppery things.
I know it's surprising.
But anyway, but I do like it in my salad mixes. It's just not to where it's overpowered. All right, the next one is going to be the herbs. You got, for the fall, you want to start doing your parsley, your cilantro, your dill, your fennel, basically things that can withstand the cooler temperatures where it won't go to bolt. What are some of the herbs you're excited about doing?
Well, for me, it's dill. Like, this last year was my first time hosting a home to a bunch of swallowtail caterpillars. So I saved all of the seeds, which is something, like, I'm glad, like, we've gotten into the habit of saving seeds. It's been bothering me every time I go to the stores I'm used to seeing them at and not seeing any. So I'm gonna test it out, see how those do. And what were you?
Mine is the same thing, is dill, and it normally is cilantro and parsley around the fall time. But for the simple fact that this beginning of the spring, when we had our dill go to seeds, and then all of a sudden we start seeing the black swallowtail caterpillars just start going up. So we just left it off the loan, and then just saving about as much seeds as we can, and then just let the caterpillars just have at it and go into their little cocoon, and later turn into butterflies. We even had our great nephews come out and look at some of the caterpillars while they were in their cocoon and munching on the deal. So it was quite interesting.
And I had enough for us. Like, I had enough to dry, to season like my eggs and stuff for cooking.
Yeah.
So we had plenty. So I think that we just want to grow a lot to have butterflies.
Yeah.
And
So
caterpillars.
that's what we're going to be growing and concentrating for the herbs of this fall. Next, we're going to try to get as many flowers as we can during the second half of the summer season for the Zone 8A here in North Texas. What are some of the flowers you're excited about growing?
Well, I'm always in love with sunflowers. I really love this red sunflower. So I'm just gonna grow sunflowers as much as I can until like the season doesn't support it. What about you?
For me, of course, it's always going to be something that attracts butterflies. So it's going to be the zinnias that cut and come along again. Right now, you can still do marigolds, calendula. You could even sneak some chamomile, but zinnias are one of the ones that I'm excited about growing.
I think it's funny. You go for the butterfly stuff, and I always go for the bees.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I guess because you sting like a bee.
No.
And I'm sweet like a butterfly. Or something like that.
I'm gonna sting you like a bee.
Yeah, I bet. See?
Whatever. Okay.
Yep, I know. Shut up. Now, those are just some of the things that we're growing for the fall garden. What are some of the things that you're going to be growing and starting for your fall garden? Alright, so we showed you basically the process that leads up to here, and we told you what we're going to be growing for the fall season. Now we're going to show you how we normally start our seeds. We're going to start with Mrs. Naked Gardener's favorite, the giant red mustard. And we did a map and design and diagram to kind of make sure we don't start a lot of these seeds. And we'll probably show you some B-roll of that, but for us, we're going to do 8, and so we're basically going to do these these two trays right here. And so we're just making a little small indentation. The seeds are very small. And for the depth of any seeds, you want to go at least twice the size of depth of the size of the seed. So we're going to do.
So those ones are pretty shallow.
Yeah, these are going to probably no more than 1/4 inch.
We're so lucky the storm's rolling in.
And what I'm doing now is I'm doing 2 per cell, just in case, so that way I'm not waiting for one seeds to start up. And we might have to finish the rest inside, because we're finally getting some storm. So we had to come inside because the wind was picking up. We could have stayed out there if it was raining due to the pergola that we installed. But the wind was just blowing our seeds out. So we're just going to finish doing these seeds inside, and then we'll show you what to do from there. Alright, so we got our trays on our grow rack system. Now this is a quick and easy grow rack system. You can get one of these racks from a big box store for right now on sale for about under $100. And the Walmart lights you can get for $25, and they're very easy to install. So we went over the lighting. Now we got to talk about how long you want to put your lights on for your starts. Now, you also want to have your lights on about 2 to 3 inches above your seedling trays, and it's best to have it on a timer because you want to have it on there for anywhere for your first time about 16 hours until you get all your seeds to germinate. Then after that, you can dial it down to anywhere about 12 to 14 hours. Now, it's best that you use a timer. We use Alexa, so like for instance, Alexa, turn on grow 1. And it's as easy as that. We also can use it from our phones where we can turn it off and on. So you want to get something like that makes it easy and where you're not pulling every string if you have a huge system like this. Now, if you find this very helpful, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss an upload. Now we're going to talk about watering. Watering, you want to do a bottom watering, and you want to fill it about 1/4 inch of the way of your trays. Let it sit in there for about 30 seconds. After that, you want to drain out the water. Now you want to water again once the top layer of this soil starts to get a light brown, and then that's how often you want to water from there. Now with us, since we have all these trays, we normally don't want to do a top water because you'll disturb some of the seedlings, and maybe some of the seedlings will go off from there, and you don't want any of that. Now, if you miss our sanitizing seed trays and pots, we'll put that video right here. Until the next video, let's grow together.